One of the biggest times in your child's development is when they're ready to begin potty training. I remember when my daughter was ready to start potty training, it wasn't like we flipped a switch one day and said, let's do this. It was something I observed over time. If you and your child are in the middle of potty training but are hitting some roadblocks, don't worry. In a lot of cases, these are very typical and you're not alone. Here are some common potty training problems and their solutions. The most important thing to determine is whether or not your child is actually ready, and remember, every child is different. Some kids might be ready to start potty training as early as 18 months, but others might be closer to 3 or 4 years of age. It depends on when they start showing signs of interest and when they can communicate those with you. We want to see physical and physiologic signs of readiness, like your child staying dry for at least 2 hours. So your child isn't urinating all the time, and when they do urinate, they're peeing more at one time. This means their bladder is maturing and beginning to hold urine. Gross and fine motor skills are also important. They should be walking independently and having the balance to squat. You can either sit them on a small potty or on the toilet and use a stool so that their legs aren't dangling. They don't necessarily need to be able to dress themselves, but they should be able to at least help pull down their pants and pull up their pants. These are all things we use to gauge what stage they're in their development. So what if my child doesn't tell me when they need to go potty? Many children won't tell anybody when they need to use the potty. This can be frustrating for parents because they're left watching their child's every move, and that can seem very overwhelming. The best thing to do early on is to schedule bathroom breaks. Ask your child if they feel the urge to pee. Give them verbal reminders and cues, and then tell them it's time to try. Celebrate their attempt, even if your toddler just sits on the potty but doesn't go. How long can potty training take? Well, potty training can take a variable amount of time. A popular potty training method is known as the 3-day method, where you stay at home with your child for 3 days in a row without them wearing a diaper and encourage them to exclusively use the toilet. I suggest finding 3 days to start where you're going to prioritize potty training. So at this time, you're not going to be booking big outings, you're not going to be traveling out of town. I don't think it's necessary to stay home, but outings should be quick, they should be simple, they should be easy. Those 3 days are going to be key to seeing progress, but expectations are very important. You should not expect by day 4 you can send them to daycare fully potty trained. Should I use a pull-up or go straight to underwear? There's actually a large controversy on this very point. Some parents feel that pull-ups are just transitioning from one type of diaper to another. Others find a lot of convenience in using a pull-up. I would say it doesn't always have to be a hard distinction. As a parent, I find that switching to underwear makes it a little bit more exciting. You could take your child to the store and allow them to pick out their favorite underwear. But what about accidents? Accidents can happen anytime, anywhere during the potty training process. And while they can be frustrating, try not to respond negatively or punish your child for having the accident. Your disappointment can make them anxious, which can lead to more accidents. What about potty training regressions? I get it. One of the most frustrating experiences during potty training is when your child regresses, and this can happen often, so don't let it bring you down. Sometimes it happens when there's a change to a child's routine, like starting school or adding a new baby to the family. Talk to your child about how they're feeling so you can reassure and support them to continue making progress in their potty training. Thankfully, regressions are often short-lived, and parents can usually get their child back on track within days or at least 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how they respond to the regression. Also, make sure to clap and cheer when your child goes on the potty or if they remain dry throughout the day. All right, parents and caregivers, you've got this.